Hey, welcome back. I need to trim out a pocket door. I've never done it before, but I'm going to do it anyway. One of my New Year's resolutions is to get more done and not wait until I'm 100% sure I can do it perfect. So that's what I'm going to do. And you, well, you're here for moral support or to tell me everything I'm doing wrong down in the comments. I'm making all the jamb pieces myself, but I bought the molding that goes from the jamb to the sheetrock. The pocket door goes almost right up to a corner, so I'm not going to be doing things in the most orthodox manner. But the most important thing is just getting it done. And I figure when you're renovating a house, not everything's going to be just the way it should. This project is the reason I wanted to build the outfeed table. Most of these pieces will be almost 7 feet long. The widest piece is going to be 4 5/8, and that's going to cover up the 2x4 as well as the edge of the sheetrock. I'm going to get all the pieces of the jamb out of this 1x12 that I've been saving. Now the board's 8 feet long, and like I said, I need just about 7 feet. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut a little over a foot off. Could pull out the miter saw, but if you believe your hand is a blade, truly believe, let's make some brick cuts. Now I need some strips at 1 1/4. These will make up the parts of the jamb that go on either side of the pocket door. That's all the boards ripped to width. They're all gonna get planed down to different thicknesses. Remember I said the way I'm trimming out my pocket door isn't the usual way, but it should work for me. Now one of the boards is gonna be so thin that I'm gonna resaw it at the bandsaw to get 2 pieces out of this 1 stick of wood. Now I measured in from each edge, drawing 2 lines. That way I know the space in between them is centered. And I'll try and keep the blade in between those 2 lines. Now it will leave a rough cut, and that is why I'm still gonna have to clean it up with the planer, bringing it down to its final thickness. One word of caution. I don't know the best way to open up a coiled bandsaw blade, but this morning I found one way not to. I can at least confirm that, yeah, there's 6 teeth per inch. I think I should wear gloves while doing that. Alright, let's do this. Okay, that didn't go too badly. The kerf was smaller than I expected, but I should have gone a little bit slower to keep the cut straighter. Alright, let me put the bandsaw away and we can get out the planer. The widest board will just get a cleaning pass, and that's to save me from a lot of sanding, as the 1x12 got a little dirty over the last year, as I set a lot of different things on it. The other boards will get planed down to 9/16 or 1/2 inch, and then the skinniest ones will get planed down to 1/4 inch or maybe 5/16. Oh, I'm working hard on this project today because Georgia is having some unusually warm weather. And I'd like to try and prime and paint these boards before install. And I'd like to do that outside. I can't imagine watching a planer run. It's very exciting. But I do want to show you a close-up of those Reson boards before and after. Last step before a little bit of hand sanding and primer and paint is to add a round over to all the narrow pieces. Do this with a router mounted upside down in the wing of the table saw, and because the pieces of wood are so thin, I'm going to run them up on edge so there will be less bowing. I used to plug the vacuum and the router into the same switch box, but both tools pull a lot of power right on startup. So now I plug the vacuum into the wall and the router into the switch. I've got an X on each piece of wood. The X needs to go against the fence and also against the table saw top. Nothing to it but to do it. I know I said that I was gonna paint all the trim outside, and while it was warm enough, never really dried out. On this side, I had to be careful where I put the nails because there were certain holes in the framing of the pocket door. On this side, it was a lot simpler, lots of wood to nail to, but when I installed this first piece of the jamb, I used trim screws, and I wanted to make sure these smaller pieces of trim covered it up. Time to start putting the casing molding on. So I've switched back to my trim nailer with, let's see, 1.5 inch finished nails. Plenty of wood to attach to from this angle. So let me just make sure I've lined up the reveal. Pop a few different nails in. I'm going for a 3/16 inch reveal. On the right side of the jamb, casing had to get ripped down because we are simply too close to this other wall. And then of course, this wall isn't straight. So I also had to do a little bit of scribing. Turned out okay up top, but not as good down bottom. And that's why they make paintable caulk. The top piece was a little extra tricky since not only did I have to match the miter, but I also had to cut a little bit of it off since I had to rip this right side down. Whew! That's gonna do it for this one. This project had a lot of steps, which makes it all the more satisfying when it's done. If you enjoyed this project, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Have a great week, and as always, get out there and make some sawdust.